Welcome to CSGuitars, the science of loud. For this Axe from the Grave episode, I want to do something a little bit different. Rather than taking an old dirty guitar and cleaning it up, I thought we could do a Partscaster build. Grab a neck and body, throw some electronics and hardware onto it and see what kind of instrument we can get that way. To that end, I've teamed up with Alegree.co.uk, who have everything we need to build ourselves a nice Stratocaster style instrument. So let's jump across to the website and see what they have to offer. I've got the Alegree website loaded up and we're going to build a shopping basket. We're going to see what we can get for our Partscaster. And I should say up top as well, if you do want to get anything from the Alegree website after seeing this video, there's a 15% off discount code in the description, which will be active for 2 weeks from the date of publication of this video. We'll start with the necks and bodies. That seems logical. We need those to start the guitar. We'll start with the necks. There we are, baked maple, 9.5 inch radius, 22 jumbo frets. We'll drop straight into the Stratocaster style bodies that they sell. Perfect, we'll have one of those. We have a few different choices of colours for the Strat body. They're all SSS configuration routes. We've got a couple of different sunbursts. We've got a natural there and 2 flat colours. I'm very much drawn to that Daphne blue. I think that looks fantastic. It's got a bit of a 90s Green Day vibe to it, so I think I'm going to go for that one. So next important thing is the pickups. I don't want this just to be a normal Stratocaster. I want to do something a little bit different with it. And I'm thinking P90s. 2 P90s in a Strat could be really, really cool. But I don't want to wind any pickups this time. I want to try Alegree's hand-wound pickups and see how they are. Sea Smoke just stands out. I got that vibe from it. So Sea Smoke, a modern take on the vintage style set. That sounds kind of like what I'm after. But I am going to add a couple of those to my basket. Now, deciding to go for P90s does present me with a problem because when I go to the pickguard section on the site, there is no pickguard for a twin P90 Strat. That's a slightly unusual thing, so we'll have to make our own, I think. There are lots of pickguards, including preloaded pickguards with the pickups already in them and the electronics already wired, which would save a lot of time if you're going for a standard style Strat, just drop straight in. But I'm not doing that, so I can't use those. I'm gonna have to go for some of the pickguard material, some of the blank material, and cut my own pickguard. And I think, of all the colours that are available, the mint green, I think that is going to look fantastic against the light blue. So we're gonna add one of those sheets, and we'll get a template and start cutting out our own pickguards. Unfortunately, I can't really choose a wiring kit here because I'm going for a twin P90 Stratocaster, so I need a 3-way switch. I suppose I could maybe go for the Telecaster sets, but they've all got solid shafts and I want to use the standard plastic Strat knobs, so I'm probably going to buy all these parts individually. Moving on to hardware, I think I want to go for a traditional style bridge and traditional style split post tuners for this one. I'm going to go for that style, look for that. So we do have a bridge here for 15 quid, incredibly cheap for a bridge, but perhaps it's good quality, we'll find out. So it's got bent steel saddles. It's got the full-size block, it's got the arm. Sounds like a bridge to me. We'll give it a shot and see how it is. We're going to go for these Japanese-made Clouson style vintage tuners with the split posts. These look really good. They've got staggered posts as well, which is going to help that break angle off the nut, or perhaps we'll even need string trees with it. We'll still throw in the string trees as well, just to be on the safe side though. We'll also need a bolt cup for the output jack, and a chrome neck plate, and that will come with the screws. Moving into the plastic parts, we've got the volume and tone control, gonna add one of each of those. And despite me never actually installing these, I'm gonna go for one of the mint back covers to hide the trem cavity, and that'll match the pickguard. Almost forgot to get the spring claw and the springs with the bridge, don't forget that. And some S-style strap locks, don't mind if I do. I think that's me got everything now. Cart is all populated, and we're coming in at just over 400 quid. That's not too bad for a nitrocellulose finished body and a roasted maple neck and all the other parts to make it work, especially with some hand-wound pickups and some top quality electronics in there. We'll see how quickly it arrives. Oh wow, that was quick. Right, so I've got all the parts now in and laid out before me. The quality of the neck and the body are superbly good. That roasted maple neck smells just incredible. The frets are going to need a little bit of a polish to get them shiny, but that's okay. I've got some brand new micro mesh polishing pads in for just such a purpose. That light blue finish on the body is just beautiful. It's a thin nitrocellulose finish with a bit of gloss to it, and I'm very, very tempted therefore to do a bit of classy relicking work, kind of like what I've got on my Friedman vintage tee. And I know that's going to divide opinion, but I like my guitars to look old. It's just an aesthetics preference. You know, it's okay if you like something different. You don't have to get so insulted about it. Got all the hardware and parts in here too. The pickups also look nice. I can't wait to hear those. Got the mint green pickguard blank here as well. Nice. And I've also got the templates, very kindly supplied by Crimson Guitars. One for the pickguard with the P90 routes in it, and one to cut out and modify the routes on the body. I'm going to be using quite a few of the Crimson tools and finishing products in this project, and there'll be an affiliate link and discount code in the description for them as well. Right, so I think the first thing to do is get the pickguard cut out, modify the body, and cut the headstock shape. I've been messing around with a little bit of a design for that, a sort of modern reduction of a classic Strat shape, but I think will be very good for this. Man, I love an unusual Strat. I'm really looking forward to getting this together. Now this wouldn't be a Partscaster build if there weren't some aspects that I had overlooked and some issues that I had to overcome. Everything was going smoothly until I went to install the tuners. I had opted for these vintage style split post tuners with the pushed in bushings, and when I went to install them I discovered that the holes pre-drilled in the headstock were 10mm in diameter to match modern tuners and therefore were too big to accept the bushings. Had I opted for a modern Grover style tuner with a 10mm shaft, then this wouldn't have been an issue at all. That's clearly what these necks have been designed to accept, but for the vintage style tuners that I've chosen, it simply wasn't going to work. So I had to plug the holes with an appropriately sized dowel rod and re-drill to the correct size. You'll notice that I had some copper foil as shielding in the cavities, and you might have thought, why have you done that when there's clearly black paint in the cavities that must be shielding paint? Well, I thought that as well. I thought that black paint was going to be conductive shielding paint, but when I tested it with the multimeter, I could get no conductivity through it, so shielding paint it doesn't appear to be. Alegree don't currently carry any adhesive copper foil for shielding on their website, but I think that's one thing they should seriously consider having on there, because it's very useful to have access to that. I also entirely forgot to order a black switch tip for the switch. I kind of assumed that one would come with the switch, but obviously that's not the case. They don't. You have to order those separately. So fortunately I do have a drawer of spares and the cream one will do for now. The finished Partscaster is about half set up at this point. I've adjusted the truss rod to get the neck relief correct, tweaked the nut slots as well, but the thing that's preventing me getting it all the way is the bridge. Unfortunately, the quality of the bridge that I've chosen isn't very good. The saddles are very difficult to adjust. The grub screws just keep splaying every time I try to raise the height of any of the saddles, and that A-string, the thread keeps slipping on that A-string saddle, and I can't get it raised to the height it needs to be. And the bar is utterly useless. When we put that in here, and it is a push fit, which I quite like. It doesn't clear the volume control. It touches the strings when we move it across. There's almost no action on it. Even if we pull it out to the point that it clears the volume control, it basically falls out at that point. So yeah, you can't really use the arm with this. I've already ordered a Wilkinson bridge to replace this one. In fact, it came today, and the quality difference is so apparent to see. That back block is much higher quality, the saddles as well much better, and all of those grub screws are going to function, and the arm sits in a position where it's not going to be obscured by the volume control or the strings. This one is £30, whereas that one is £15, so double the price, but well worth the additional investment for a bridge that's actually going to function correctly. Alegree have some Wilkinson parts on their site, like tuners and such, but they don't have any of the bridges at present, and that confuses me. These are really good. Alegree, get these ones. These are the ones you want to sell. It's a real shame about the bridge because it's the only thing that lets down the rest of these parts. Everything else here is superbly good quality. I really like the tuners. These are fantastic vintage style tuners. They turn smoothly, they hold their position, the split shafts are great, and the staggered nature of them means that you barely even need the string tree. The roasted maple neck especially is fantastic. It's gorgeous to look at, and it finished up lovely using the crimson melamine finish, and I can't recommend this stuff enough. It dries super quick, and you can get a few coats in half an hour and you're done. Once you're finished, just go over it with some fine steel wool, get a nice satin finish. You get a fantastic playing neck. I'm very much considering picking up another couple of these necks so I can finish them in this stuff and replace them on my Squires. This is well worth buying. The body and the finish were absolutely flawless. It's a great body, fits the neck really well. So if you're buying the neck and the body as a pair, you're not going to be disappointed in that. My pick guard is a little messy, where I sort of ballsed up cutting it myself in places, but I like the mint green next to daphne blue. I think that really works well together on this instrument. The pickups and electronic parts here are top level quality. I'm really glad I tried the Alegree pickups rather than just winding another set of my own pickups, because these are a nice change of pace. They're a little bit different, and I do like them. They've got quite a bit of range, this Sea Smoke set. They'll go from a spanky Strat coil sound in the middle position to rivaling a humbucker when you throw on the distortion. So the bridge aside, what I've put together here is a killer Stratocaster style instrument. The construction quality's all very, very good. The neck feels like a premium quality neck, and it sounds incredible through the proper signal chain. We've got a nitro finish, solid alder, roasted maple neck, hand-wound pickups, unique Partscaster for a shade over 400 quid, which is just crazy. That's cheaper than a Fender Mexican Player Stratocaster, and you can put this together over a weekend. Anyway, let's get to hear how this sounds. I'll be running it through a small selection of pedals on the floor into the front end of the orange AD30, and I'll be running the tape machine in the loop of the tube amp expander. So there we have it, a nice simple Partscaster build. I'll probably do a part 2 of this when I come to put the Wilkinson bridge in and give some serious thought to the accelerated aging process of the finish, and you can get really angry at me in the comments about that if you like. Don't forget, if you want to get any of the parts and supplies that you've seen in this video, then affiliate links and discount codes are in the description, and don't forget to click all the buttons you're supposed to make this video viable to the ever-changing whims of the YouTube algorithm. That's all for now. Keep it loud. Stay safe.